welcome at the Flizzcast. This is the first episode where I, Jelmer, am inviting guests and friends of Flizz who share the same life mission, which is adding value to businesses and people in certain different forms of ways. In our case, it is mainly financially, but it can also be spiritually or in a totally different form. Today, I have Orlando Watson here. Welcome. Amazing to have you here.
Thank you for the invite. Yes.
You're welcome. First of all, how do you engage in this same life mission, which is adding value to businesses and people in your own way? And which way do you do it in, and how do you contribute to this mission?
All right. So to give answer to it, and first of all, for people that don't know me, my name is Orlando Watson, and I'm 41 years old. Maybe you can't see it. I hope you can't. No, but they say black don't crack, you know. No, but what I do is I help, and that's the way I contribute, is that I help businesses, especially people that are having an online business and that struggle digitally, where they don't know what to do, don't know how to set up their online business, or they don't know how to scale their business. That's how I come in, and that's the moment somebody thinks like, okay, what do I need to do, or how do I need to scale? They think about me. And that's where I add value to make entrepreneurs aware of what they can do to scale their business, especially.
Yeah, so as many people know, we are doing email marketing mainly for dropshipping clients, branding clients, and so forth, mainly e-commerce.
Yeah.
And you're partially also working in e-commerce, but a little bit earlier in the process than we are.
Yeah.
But your work has a huge impact on the results of what we can generate with email marketing.
Yeah.
So perhaps can you elaborate a little bit more about what this process exactly is and why it is that it has such a big impact on the whole buying process from A to Z?
So it's a really great question, of course, and just to let people understand why it's so impactful is that, and to make people understand, I'm a specialist in funnel marketing. So funnel marketing, a lot of people, what they do is they sell their products and they think like, oh, I need to have a winning product, but it's actually about the neuro stands for brain, and neuromarketing means like, hey, you're getting inside of the brain of your ideal customer. And that's where we teach people, and that's where I teach people, like, hey, don't think about the product, but think about your ideal customer. What are they thinking in different stages? So for example, to give an example, clear example in e-com is, it all starts with social media, right? You capture somebody in ads, and that's paid, of course. You pay Meta to be in the face of your ideal customer, and they see your ad, and then they click and they get to the next stage, and that's your product page. And then from the product page, they go to the checkout page, and from the checkout to the cart page. I say cart first, and then to the checkout, and then to the thank you page, right? So that's the route in e-com. But what a lot of people do is they just have the basic setup of Shopify, and they think, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna push. I have an ad. I download the ad. I put it on Meta. People click, and I don't get a winning product. That's because you don't get in the mind of your ideal customer, and that's where I come in, and that's where we help people. And to come back to your original question is, how do you add value? Is that what we do is we capture those leads within the funnel. And when we capture the leads, it comes to you, to the email marketing part. Exactly. And that's where you gonna do the thing. That's where you're gonna do your magic. So the most important question is, how do you capture the lead, right? How do you capture the lead?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, what they think is, oh, I give them 10% and then I capture it. or you know what, I have some kind of discount or whatever, and then I capture the lead. And to be honest, most businesses don't capture the lead. They just, have their standard basic setup, but in a funnel way, and the way we do it, the way we capture leads is when the problem really arises for your ideal customer is one, or they either want to have more information, or they're eager to buy the product. On the product page, they're eager to buy it. And then we ask for their email, not even their name, but just their email. And when we do that, what do you give them in return? That's really important. So that's where we teach entrepreneurs, especially dropship entrepreneurs or e-com entrepreneurs or brands, how do you capture the lead and how do you gonna give value to your ideal customer?
Yeah. Really great. Prior to the podcast already this morning, I mean, this man can speak for hours about amazing value. So we talked a little bit about already that a lot of, especially dropshippers and even brands as well, they just try to find a winning product, like you said, and they just want to push the offer
exactly
and kind of get rolling that way. But you explained a little bit of the facets to me about what is actually going into it rather than just pushing the offer. What is it that makes the big difference between the way you do it and like just pushing the offer?
Yeah, that's another great question. The word is more in pushing, and that's how everybody in dropshipping is like, I want to have the winning product. It's not about when it comes to sales. And that's in general with everything that you do. You can be a coach, you can either be an expert, you can have an info product or whatever product you have or sell or service. If you think the offer away, like it's not about the offer. It's more about the human aspect in selling. And we call that the psychology of selling. So within the psychology, and that's what is my ideal customer thinking, the first step is what is the problem for your ideal customer. So for example, when you sell blades, where people shave, somebody doesn't think about, hey, I want to have a blade. The first thing that arises in their mind is either, hey, I have too much hair and I want to cut it. So you need to be in their mind. What is it that they're thinking? So if you're like, hey, wait a minute, if I create an ad and I know that their hair is growing too much, and if you put that in an image or you put that in a video, like, hey, is your hair growing too much? Then you hit that person, their mind. We call it rapport. You make rapport. You first need to make rapport with your ideal customer. So that means like, hey, you need to be in their mind. And if you hit somebody's mind, like for example, I'm a marketer, I do funnel marketing. So if I tell you in an ad, hey, do you have a website? Or are you struggling with your website? Are you struggling with your web shop? And you're struggling, of course you're gonna look. I'm not talking about the funnel itself, because that's what I sell. And that's what a lot of people do. They always want to talk about their product, their thing, and it's not about your product. It's about what is living in your customer's mind at the first step. So when you hit that, you get the problem phase. After the problem phase, if you hit that, people gonna come in their interest phase. Now they have interest. Now, hey, you hit my problem. Now I want to look at, hey, how can you solve it? And if you then explain on your product page, hey, this is how we're gonna solve your problem, and mostly on a product page, a lot of people, what they do is they just copy paste from other pages, or it doesn't have any psychology. So you always need to talk about the context of your product, and what that means is, what is it that you are selling? So you show them, this is what I'm selling, and that's the what. The how. How can you solve my problem? You show them the benefits, for example. And then why do they need to buy it? And then how can they buy it? That's the call to action. But a lot of people, they don't think about this. They just, hey, yeah, just gonna do because somebody told me I need to put this. There's no thought behind it. And if you put thought behind it, you will see you create better product pages. And by the way, to be honest, what we do, we don't create product pages like on Shopify. And we basically, we build a funnel page. That's a little bit different, more psychology. And when they click, the first thing, and that's where we can give you the job, of course, because then we capture the email. First, capture the email. Why do you do that? I have a lot of conversations with dropshippers, and what they say is that 98% don't take action.
Exactly.
So if you capture those people at the first time, we will send them to Flizz. We send them to Flizz so that Flizz can do their magic with the follow-up, because the money is in the follow-up, and that's where we have the system that we are building.
Yeah.
So
So basically, you're solving the problem, giving people an experience.
Exactly.
Really like explaining that they first have to understand that they have the problem.
Exactly.
And then they take action on solving the problem,
yes,
rather than just seeing a product.
Exactly.
And I'm quite sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can get like 80% of all products you will ever find profitable,
yes,
if you use that method.
Exactly.
Because I've also seen stores that don't even have text on the store, just literally the product with an image, and it already sells if the product is hitting the right audience.
Exactly.
But it sells like a regular store. And if you then apply what you just mentioned, you can often like triple, quadruple the conversion rate.
Exactly.
Of course.
Exactly.
So, I was curious to hear a little bit. Are there like some low-hanging fruit tips and tricks that people can implement as of now, as they listen this, to optimize this already? Of course, if you want the, how they say in French, the crème de la crème of your conversion, they can always reach out to you, and you can help them out. But I'm just curious, are there a few like baseline rules that you have to know to get better at this?
The first thing you need to ask yourself is, how do you measure success? Because a lot of people, they don't measure their success. They're like, the sales, that's the measurement of my success. That's not how you measure success. The way you measure success is by creating a really clear funnel calculator. Like, how are you gonna calculate your winners, right? Like, if you have a winner and you have the winner in your mind, like, how much does an ad can cost me? The cost per click, After that, you're looking at the CTR of your product page. Really important. Like, okay, how many people that I send to my product page need to click? And a lot of people think, hey, wait a minute, I need to think about my sales. That's the amount of sales that I have. No, because if you map this out, so you have your ad, you have the product page, you have your cart page, your checkout page, and your thank you page. You map that out. You will look at, at the ad, how much does an ad can cost me to get somebody on my product page? Now, from my product page to my cart page, what does a cart can cost me? How much can a checkout cost me? And then how much does a real acquisition, so the cost per acquisition, can cost me? If you map that out and you look at the process, you will see exactly where things are going wrong. So let us say, for example, wait a minute, my cost per click cannot be more than €3 or $3, which is high. which or kronen, Denmark kronen. So you look at how much actually can a cost me. Let us say, for example, you see that, hey, wait a minute, I'm above my cost. Then you need to optimize something in your ad. If your product page, if you get 100 people to your product page, but only 10 people click to the cart, and it's above your rate that you need to have, then you know, oh, there's something wrong on my product page. So the first thing that I tell people, identify exactly where the problem is in your funnel.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you resolve, just a simple thing, if your product page has a 2% clicks, right? So your CTR on your product page is 2%. You solve that problem, and it comes from 2 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that will happen?
Yeah, you literally double your sales.
Because why? Your cost per landing page will lower
Exactly.
with 50%. Like it will lower 50%.
Yeah.
So, and if you solve that problem, you're gonna look at, hey, wait a minute, I have all the add to carts. If I just optimize my cart page, what will happen? The cost of your clicks will be lower, your cost of your product page will be lower, and then your cost of your cart will be lower. Yeah. So you will get better results, end results, based on one thing, and that's really important. If you don't measure your success, you will never have a winner. And that's the problem with a lot of dropshippers. They like, no, I just want to look at the winner. I just want to look at the winner. No, if you look at the process, you map out the process, then you will get winners regardless.
Yeah.
Because then you know exactly, hey, I have so many people on my product page, so many people clicking, and then you can put layers on top of that. Yeah. So that's what I will say.
And to add on to that, like people look for one winner, and they want to milk it out. But if you have 20 products, profitable, on lower ad budgets, but you're optimizing the costs, like you mentioned, like it's profitable. So why would you even bother like finding one winner, right?
Exactly.
Like if then one of the 20 products dies out, who cares? Like you have 19 others that worked, right?
Exactly. And that's a great thing that you're talking about. What they think is, hey, wait a minute, I have a traffic problem. Mm-hmm. But they don't have a traffic problem. They have an understanding problem, and the understanding of their funnel itself. Mm-hmm. Just tweak one thing in your customer journey, one thing, and the winner that you thought was a loser could be potentially a winner because you understand the psychology of selling. Yeah. Yes.
And if we look at brands, for example, right?
Yeah.
So like with dropshipping, it's very easy. Like you just take a product, you test it, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work for you, right?
Yeah.
But with a brand, you have to sell it. There is a certain product that you have, and you have to make it work.
Yes.
And then naturally, people go way more into psychology. How do I get this to work? Blah blah blah.
Yes.
And dropshippers tell me all the time, like, this doesn't work.
They don't care.
And I have to brand it to work. It has to be branding.
No.
But it's not branding. No. It's literally what you say, psychology. And just a way of thinking. Yes. You can apply the same strategy to dropshipping as well.
Absolutely. The beautiful thing of dropshipping is, the risk is not in your hands, right? The risk is at the manufacturer, right? So one advantage that you have is you can learn really fast about the process. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, and that's with dropshipping, of course, it's all about speed. But if you just oversee it in a helicopter view, you will see more just by taking a little bit of time. Mm-hmm. Just taking a little bit of time, step out of your entire world like, oh, this is going wrong, this is going wrong, this is going wrong. Ask a higher frequency question.
Exactly.
And what I mean by that is a lot of lower frequency questions are like, hey, how can I find a winning product? Mm-hmm. It's not about how to find a winning product. It's more like, who do you need to become in order to be a winner? Exactly. That's the whole thing. Who do you need to become? And what you see is a lot of dropshippers are lacking with that, is winning. But in here is you need to become a better entrepreneur by just asking the right questions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To chip in on that, I just had a genius guy. This is gonna be very valuable, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
He told me that if he wants to start a new brand, he literally just puts the product online, tests it, the dropshipping way.
Yes.
But he doesn't have the product. He doesn't have a supplier, nothing.
Yes.
And he just sees if a product sells in the first day. And if yes, then all the sales that he makes that day, he calls the customers and he asks them, hey, why did you buy it? What's your experience?
Yes.
What made you buy it? All these things he notes down. And then he says, I will refund you. Thanks for the information.
That's a better way.
I will send you the product for free when I get it in stock, because he doesn't have it in stock yet. So he will then get the supplier to produce and ship.
Yes.
Then he will refund the client, get it on their doorstep for free in return of the valuable
Feedback.
Information,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And then he say, I know exactly what I need to do to launch, right?
Yes. This is one of the best things you can do, is everything has to do with information about your ideal customer. And again, if you ask them the right questions, you get the right answers. And one thing that's important that you want to figure out is why they don't buy. And a lot of people, what they do is focus on why people do buy. But if you know that 98% of people don't buy, you want to understand, hey, really quickly, why didn't they buy? And by the way, for dropshippers, one thing to add inside of your entire system, you can install Clarity, Microsoft Clarity. What it does is it records your screen and makes heat maps of your page. So what will it give you really fast, and it's free. So you can see, hey, wait a minute. Somebody comes on the product page, they scroll down, but they don't click. Oh, I know why. Because this image or this text, they don't resonate with it. So now I need to rewrite that text or put the entire page differently, and boom, you get a winner. But because you get information, and that's the most important thing, get information really quickly. Yeah.
And like you mentioned, 98% of people don't buy if you don't optimize.
Yes.
And for example, if we made a little bridge to the email marketing that we're doing, on average, we make sales with around 50 to 60% profit margin, because the costs of email marketing are so low, right? So if you implement the funnel optimization in combination with email marketing, you'll get a lot of leads with a high with sales as well, with a high profit margin. And if you then reinvest this money in the front end, optimization of ads, optimization of funnel, then you make more sales again, you get more leads, and it's like a vicious cycle. You can scale pretty much, unlimited, right? So it's crazy.
And I want to add to that. It was I think it was somewhere in 2017. I had a client, he had a brand, and he didn't use email marketing. And that's the first time we came across Klaviyo, the one that is really important, of course. You're the basis of Flizz as well, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And we only installed it. We didn't do anything like, hey, we just installed it. Do you know what happened? He went from 50K every month. He had 15K extra just to install email marketing. And that's where you can see how important email marketing is and how important your job is. And how much value you can add just to install email marketing. And I just want to ask you a question about it. What made it that you really saw the value of email marketing? What is it that you saw?
Okay, this is a good question. I like it. So the first day that I met, because before email marketing, first of all, I do email marketing now for 7-ish years. And before I was actually doing a lot of SEO, and then especially link building. So outbound is SEO. And what made me fall in love with email marketing is literally when I started learning about it when I was working with the Skype guys, just that you craft something and you send it out to an audience and you craft something beautiful, maybe in like an hour or so. You send it out and the next day it can have, let's say, 20K in revenue.
Yeah.
And that makes such an impact on businesses. And I was just sold. From that moment, I was like, I want to do this for the rest of my life if I need to. Like, I just need to, I need to, and then that kind of over time, that kind of shaped my life mission. And this is the reason why we sit here, of course, which is adding, in my case, financial value to businesses 100%. And people.
Yeah.
And for example, I had recently a new client coming in, and he did 5 million euros in revenue on his store without email marketing. And I told him that he would miss out on at least 500,000. And he was like, at least. And he was, it just hurts my heart to hear that he didn't use it. And he was like, man, I cannot believe this. Like, it's just crazy. So, and that's also the reason why we started, for example, this podcast, because we want to spread the word and like make people aware of all the things that they can do, and not only with email marketing, also with funnel optimization, for example. And all these things, like, it's super important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just another one, because a lot of people think that if you use email marketing, and that's what my customer thought in 2017 as well. No, people don't read emails anymore. What can you say about that?
Well, how many times a day do you open your email? Right?
Yeah, me, myself, every day.
Exactly.
Every day.
I mean, as long as governmental institutions, companies of all kinds is still sending you emails, like, you will read it.
Exactly.
So why not use it? The average ROI on email is 36 across the board. Like, there is no social media, no ad tool that can reach that. Of course, it goes hand in hand with it. Like, you cannot live without.
Exactly.
Because Google goes hand in hand with email. Facebook goes hand in hand with email. And together they make a strong engine.
Yeah, exactly.
But only relying on social is losing out on so much.
And this is a really important thing that I want to add to that, because people have a perception when they have followers or when they have likes that they own it. You know what the problem is? You don't own anything.
Exactly.
When you have email marketing inside of your company, the thing is, you will own an email address, and you don't have to, because when you spend €1 on ads, you want as soon as possible that €1 will be valuable. So the only way you can make it valuable is if you use email marketing, because then you own the email address itself. And just to think about it technically, is first you have an IP address.
Exactly.
And then that IP address will transform to a name with an email.
Yeah.
And then you can really respond to that person because you have a face, or in this case, an email. Yeah. And that's really, really important. So I just want to add to that as well.
They say data is more worth than gold nowadays.
Absolutely. So I really recommend anyone in the sound of my voice. I recommend anyone just to follow Flizz and just to understand more the psychology behind everything. Because if you ask questions like, why do I need to have email? Why would it add to my business? And follow Flizz to learn why. Yeah.
And likewise as well, right? I mean, I have so many followers as well that don't know yet on the power of the optimization of funnels and what the effect can be, right, on the big grand scheme of things, so to say. Yeah. So just to ask you as well, like, if people are interested, where can they follow you? Where can they find you, and how can they get in touch?
First off, follow me on Instagram. I speak Dutch in right now on Instagram, so it is not like, hey, you will understand it. But if you reach out to me on orlandowatson.official on Instagram, I will soon get English content as well, because
Okay,
I
nice.
know,
Yeah.
I already know, like, hey, a lot of people worldwide, they need things that I teach, and I just follow me on Instagram. That's
Awesome.
it, basically.
Great to
Yes.
hear. I think we shared some great value here.
Absolutely.
It was an honor to have you here.
Thank you for the invite again.
Really
Yeah.
really good talks.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some good days here in Copenhagen.
Absolutely. We will enjoy Copenhagen. So again, it's a beautiful city, really great energy, hip kind of pubs and clubs and restaurants. So I definitely recommend it. Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks again. Make sure to follow Orlando on Instagram if you want to know more about funnel optimization, the effect it can have in combination with email marketing.
Yes.
Just give him a follow, hit him up if you really want to take that next level into your funnel optimization. If you're like, hey, I'm running an e-commerce store, I'm doing great, but I want to go to the next level. I want some advice on how can I actually learn to improve all these aspects. Make sure to give him a follow. And of course, that will also be collateral damage in the sense of that we can do our email marketing even better with all these optimizations implemented. So thanks for sharing a lot of value on that matter. And I hope to see you all in the next episode.